Today, I want to show you how you can make a stunning map like this, where your lines or points can just pop and have some variable styling attributes like the thickness of the line or of the point, making your visualizations truly unique. This is open source options, and here we use open source and free software to show you how to make wonderful geographic and data visualizations and perform useful analysis. Today we're using QGIS to do some cartography, specifically working with streamlines, but these principles can be applied to any vector data source. Now, in the previous video, I showed you how I styled this digital elevation model, this colored background to represent topography in this area. And also in a previous video, I showed you how to create a line network, a streamline network from a digital elevation model. Go check out those videos if you want to get to this point. Today, and I've showed you that stream network in two different methods, one with Grass and one with Saga. Today we're going to be using the Saga network that we've created to symbolize it in a striking way so that you get a lot more context out of your data that can be shown visually on your map. Now, I'm going to undo all the changes to the Saga line network so you can see where we started from, and then we'll get back to it. So stand by while I do that. Okay, so our DEM still looks good, our topography looks good, but our streamlines are back to being old, boring streamlines again. Let's go and take a look at how we can make these pop just a little more and provide some additional context to the viewers of our visualizations. First, let's take a look into the Saga line work and just see what information we have available. Let's go to open the attribute table. And you'll notice we have minimal attributes here. We have only 3 attributes. We have a segment ID, and those all appear to just have the value 1. We have an order, and let's sort that. So we range from 1, we have a lot of 1s, 3, 4, and we go all the way up to 500. And then we have stream length, and these lengths range from 9 to 12. These are all okay. And so I think what we have here is just individual pixel segments maybe, and they're all either 9 or 12. Okay, so if we want to symbolize these line thicknesses based on location and drainage, that's where this order is going to come into play. These larger order streams, we can select some of these, and let's just grab some of these large ones. Maybe those are too large, but let's come and grab anything, greater than 10, say. If we come down and grab all of these, you can see these get highlighted down here in the map. And you can see we have some highlighted down here, lower in these segments. And so those larger streams are generally farther downstream. Not all of them are highlighted there, but we've got a lot of them highlighted. So we're just going to play around with this and see how it looks as we move forward. We can see some more highlighted down over here. So, whoops, didn't mean to do that. So we're going to clear this selection. And we want to, first of all, make our line width variable. We don't want to have it be the same. Right now we have it set up so that the stroke width is just 0.26 millimeters. Now this is really easy to change. We're going to come over here to this drop down next to our stroke width. We're going to click Edit. It's going to bring up our expression builder. Now, what we want to do is we want to have kind of a minimum line width. So let's call it 0.25 will be our minimum. And to that, we want to add something based on the stream order. Okay, so let's get our stream order in here. So we can go to Fields and Values. We can double click Order, and that adds in that order field. So So we take our stream order, we want to multiply that by a line thickness. Let's try 0.01 to start. Okay, so that means that for um, a stream order of 1, we're just adding 0.01 so for a stream order of 1, our thickness will be 0.26, which will put us back to our starting point here. And for anything larger, it will get larger, proportionally. So let's give this a try and just see how this changes our line thickness. Click OK. And there you go. You can see that we've got some nice thickness now. As we get farther down in the drainage, those lines really start to increase in thickness. And we can play around with these numbers a little bit. So we can come back into here. We can see what our current is. We can click Edit. And maybe we want to start out just a little bit thicker. We want to go 0.35. We want this to go a little bit faster, so we can go 0.2. And we can say, okay. Now you can see those lines get even fatter. And the ones in the headwaters are a little thicker to start. We can come back in and say, oh, well, I don't like it. I don't like that. I want to come back and I want to make these go by 0.005 and say, okay. And then we get a little thinner start to that. Okay, so we can play around with this and get this just how you like, but this is kind of the formula for making this work. I'm going to bring this down to 0.03 and I'm going to make this 0.0075. I'm going to say okay, and I'm going to leave mine like that for now. Okay, and that looks pretty good generally, I think. We've got some good definition in our streamlines. We can see where the larger streams are, where the smaller streams are. But they're still kind of just flat on the map. We want to put a little definition, have those streamlines pop out because they are the focal point of our map. Well, the good news is we can do this very easily by adding a drop shadow. And all we do is in our saga network, so we're still make sure we have this selected. We're in layer styling, come down here to layer rendering section and click turn on the draw effects. Okay, now nothing happened, but if we come over and we click this star, the customize effects button to the right, now we have some options. So here we can add an outer glow, which I don't like. You can see how that changed. We can add an inner shadow, which looks kind of weird with this. We can add an inner glow, which still looks strange. But what we really want probably is to add the drop shadow. And there you can see how that just makes those pop off just a little bit. And from here, if you click on the drop shadow, you can change your offset. You can change the blur radius. You can change the size. So we can bring this down, make it a more subtle shadow with the smaller blur radius. Okay, or we can change that back up, to around 2.5 and change this back up to around 2. And you can change your modes here from multiply to darken to burn to overlay to soft light. There's not making a huge difference, but you can play around with these and adjust as you like. Okay, and so that's how you can add that drop shadow. And now we have this really compelling visualization that shows the drainage network and it really accentuates that drainage network so we can see the details more than if we were looking at just our default lines. So I hope you found this useful. You can apply these principles and these ideas to other vector layers. The drop shadow also works with points. The styling size also works with points or polygons. So you can do all this with any vector data you have. Again, thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.